I was working in St. Pete at the time, and that was about an hour and a half drive, and I was going back and forth. And my mom called screaming, and I was in the middle of a function with all my seniors at the time, having a big party, and I just dropped my phone and got in my car and hauled butt. I mean, a lot of it's kind of fuzzy. I quit that job after that very long ride. That was like, I'm scared to ever get that kind of call again, and it was just really hard. Uh, I didn't believe it. It took me a long time to believe it. I kept calling her phone, hoping that she would answer. Sorry.
This is the fourth annual Ride Out of the Darkness. You've been doing this for now. This is the fourth year at Sun and Fun Center, like we've been talking. I got to sit on one of your many planning meetings, and there's a lot of people behind that. But what's it like to plan an event like this? It's huge. It's a massive thing. What is it like? Is it overwhelming, or do you have a good team, or all of the above?
The above. Every year it's been different. The very first year it started out with like just family and some friends and like 20 people on a bike because COVID hit. And now we've grown, and there's family and supportive family that has kind of gotten involved, but it's just gotten so much bigger. And the beautiful thing for me is that I started it, because I heard a little voice that said that's what I need to do. But as part of my healing journey is why I do it. It does get very, very challenging around this time, the month of September. Questioned it even last year, if I'm completely honest, because it was so overwhelming to get all the little tiny missing parts, put together. The beautiful thing is, though, that there's been so many people that need this the way that I do. And those are the people that are stepping up and really helping me make this thing happen. So we've got a great, great group of people last year that's rolled into this year. And thank God, because it does really just keep getting bigger. So, yeah.
Planned a number of events, and I can remember many times something I'm going to ask you right now. Have you ever been in the middle of it and you go, this is just too much. I don't know if I can do this another year. Has that ever crossed your mind? Because there's a lot of moving parts.
Every year I question. Every year my family knows, why in the world am I doing this? But then the day of happens, and then I just know why. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see like it unfold. But do I question it every single year? I cried this whole entire weekend, if I'm completely honest. I kept working and stuff, but other things happen, and I would love, love, love to be able to help people like this as a full-time job. But I have a full-time job. I take care of seniors in an assisted living community. So it's just a lot with that job and this job and everything else kind of that goes on. But it's lots of great support, so that's good.
I
Nope.
want to talk. I want to talk about your motivation. Um, we're going to get deeper into you and your why you do this. But many people know that you suffered a tragedy. You've lost your sister to this. But before we go there, my question is: you talked about your team and all of these people that are helping to put this together. You find that the people that you wouldn't expect are dealing with mental stress and depression. And my question to you is: have you found people that have been on a similar journey as you in the process of building this event and building it up?
Yes, and I'm forever grateful for that, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons I also don't quit, is because I see how much it's doing for these same people. I'm in year 4 and I do put a lot into it. But my first couple years was my deepest healing that I needed to go through. Some of these people are just now going through it. They've lost a loved one, and it's all ages. It doesn't even matter. I've dealt with 9-year-olds taking their lives all the way up to seniors. So hearing the stories, you know, they're sad. They're just sad, but it's bringing like-minded people together to create some sort of hope, and we encourage each other, and we are able to relate. The very last meeting, we had another new lady volunteer show up, and she right away shared with me about her 43-year-old daughter, but she felt home, by being with us. So it was as much as it's all in a crappy package, it ends up being a beautiful thing, bringing people together. And, I know my sister, and we'll get into that, but sometimes I wonder if, there's always purpose behind, I have to believe there's purpose behind everything. So there's some beautiful things that are coming out of this really crappy situation for
Indeed,
everybody. Yeah.
for everyone. So you, even in the process of planning this event, you're finding that people that are serving and volunteering are finding healing in this process.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what warms my heart, because, it's taken conversations to kind of get where we are, but the biggest thing is, I didn't want just a little tiny group of people running the whole show. It was, there's something for everybody. My turn moto, I mean, like, you guys are all everyone's finding their parts, finding their something that works well and they're good at, and finding their own way to bring people together. And there's just a part of it, look at what my
Incredible.
Termoto's done, look what you're doing. And then it goes all the way down. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I brag about coming from Florida to North Carolina, but there's people coming from Southern California
Yes.
running across. It's pretty wild. Let me
Yeah.
let me close with this question. Why do you do this? And tell me about your sister, and just kind of be real. Not that you're not a real person, because you very much are. I've had handfuls of opportunities to see you, and every fiber of your being is real. But this had to have been devastating. Tell me about your sister. What happened?
Well, I'm going to start with just a little picture just in case. Everyone can go on to lovesurroundsyou.org, and her picture and some of her little stories on there. That was a picture with my son and my daughter. Uh, I was the oldest out of my siblings, and my little sister was 5 years younger than me. Her name is Kristen Tenpenny, and she was 32 at the time, almost 32. And I was working in senior living. My little sister, for years, was really big into healing, just the healing world. She did, she loved Jesus. She loved doing other, holistic approaches. She traveled the world doing sound bowl therapy for people. She worked out at Bot Tower, which, people would come around the country to go to her sound bowl healing. I learned a lot from her while she was here. One of the things that I look back on is I've always been like a workaholic, or just go, go, go. I was a young single mom, like, and she was always in my ear about, finding peace and, finding healing. And, I had kids young, and I was always stressed out, and she would give me so many wonderful, beautiful things to, find some sort of peace, basically. And, I didn't know for a while that she was struggling with her own things. She was always someone who wanted to bring the family together, everyone. I mean, my children are 23 and 25 now. She was like their best friend. She was just everybody's best friend. So it's just hard to believe, because, I've dealt with people of all kinds of sorts. I mean, this girl's never even done a drug in her life, so just wasn't expected. I talk to people, you just don't expect stuff like that from certain people. And there was a time period right before she did what she did, and she had went through a pretty bad breakup of a 4 or 5 year relationship. And, I'm real big on the narcissist stuff, because I'll never know the final story. But with her, there was some of that in the relationship she had gotten into. She moved away from family. She was living in Miami, and got, into this relationship that moved very, very fast in 4 months. And it kind of all confuse the family, but I think she just wanted love and stability. She just wanted that. She was just the foundation's called Love Surrounds You, but that's because she wrote it after her name on everything for years. She was just so big on love. um, So, the story on her, from what we gathered, I mean, when she did take her life, like, of course, we couldn't believe it. So, we hired a private investigator. Like, we did the whole number, not being able to believe what happened actually happened. Um, my little sister did take her life. So, that was on April 2nd, 2019. And I was working in St. Pete at the time. And that was about hour and a half drive. And I was going back and forth, and my mom called screaming, and I was in the middle of a function with all my seniors at the time, having a big party, and I just dropped my phone and got in my car and hauled butt. I mean, a lot of it's kind of fuzzy. I quit that job after that very long ride. That was like, I'm scared to ever get that kind of call again, and it was just really hard. I didn't believe it. It took me a long time to believe it. I kept calling her phone, hoping that she would answer. Sorry.
Well, that's fine. It's just it's unbelievable, right? When you get that phone call, you just couldn't imagine. It's not my sister. It's not. There's no way that she would do that because
No,
you talk about how
because
much she
honestly,
just
I
loved.
struggled. I had kids, and I mean, like, my dad and I have talked about it. Like, I have struggled with those kind of thoughts and stuff, and before, and it just shocked me. It just shocked me, and we my mom, my dad. I have another sister. She's a year and 10 days younger than me. So we've got a middle sister. And then she's got two nieces and two nephews, and, so many loved ones, so many friends. Her celebration of life was so many people from everywhere came around, and, you could feel the love, but lots of shock, just lots and lots of shock. Um, Especially even in the healing community, everyone questioned everything. You question everything about yourself, about your life, about God, about everything. Um, so, I mean, it was about a year of fogginess. I had quit that job and just found something a little more local, and just kind of got by for a year. Like, I can't even tell you what actually happened in the year of between April of 2nd of 2019 to 2020, other than COVID finally hit.
Yeah.
Um, but COVID did hit, and I was sitting against my car. I had just recently was actually dating my husband at the time, before we got married and actually got serious. He had been out of the military for a year. I had just went through my sister's suicide in a year, so we were both in a lot of pain and needed to go through some healing ourselves, which we did over those next couple years. Um, but as far as the ride goes, I was very lonely. My kids were getting older. Back during that time, like, I wasn't, with anyone. I have beautiful friends and everything, but I needed something. And I bought a bike and learned how to ride. And I did that by myself for a couple years. Well, when I got the bike, I was too scared to ride with anyone else. And so I would just practice by myself. And one day I was in the garage, and it was about April or May of 2020. And I heard that little voice. I can't explain it. I just heard something within me that said, "This is what you need to do." And one, I knew I needed to get on my bike and do this with other people so that I could find my people,
Yeah.
Um, and then two, uh, just to bring awareness and bring love and to make a difference in the community. And what I heard needed to happen last year for the first time. So previous 2 years, or the previous years, we had the ride, and we had like a little rally at Lakeland Harley the first 2 years, and Lakeland Harley by year 3 last year was outgrown, So what I heard was, we needed to have resources. We needed to have happy faces and have fun and
Yeah.
have a ride. And the ride was to be seen and to be heard. Bunch of cars and bunch of Harleys and a bunch of bikes. It's that rumble. That rumble gives me goosebumps because I want everyone to be seen and heard the way that I wish she would have been able to be seen and heard. And the other people that have taken their lives, I know that they want to be seen and heard because when I have felt that way, that's what people want. And I don't, the thing to overcome is how to even ask for that sometimes, because people, including myself, uh, don't like to ask for help, or don't think that they deserve it or, those things. So I felt like she was with us big time every single year. And my sister I felt like she was proud last when we had 20 resource vendors and 70 merchandise vendors and entertainers and, so many different people of every single type of culture and races and ages all come together in one place. um, I felt her happy. So that is my why. My most biggest why is one, me, and then two, I hope. I don't know that I'm here to like, oh, make her proud or anything like that. I know what her mission was, and I hope I can carry that out.
Going to
I
carry
hope
that
that
flag.
I
Let
hope
me ask.
we that out.
Well, yeah, yeah. Let me ask you two more questions.
Yeah,
If your sister was here right now, what would you say to her?
I love you so much. Just that I love her.
What would you say to someone that's dealing with depression right
That there's hope, that I have absolutely been there. I've questioned it personally a ton of times. Like, this world's not pretty, especially even right now. I mean, there's a lot happening in our world. And I mean, I don't even try to go into all the politics and stuff. But the more I stay away from that stuff, the more I, try to find some peace within myself by not interacting with all the craziness in the world. But one, you can reach out to Love Surrounds You Memorial Foundation. And our goal is to bring so many different resources from a church to, the Christian piece, the Reiki, the holistic, the homeless, the children. We've got Bikers Against Bullying for the kids. Just so many resources in one place that if you are hurting, I hope you do come out to the rally so that I can connect you with one of many, many different types of resources from all different routes, filling in the whole circle to meet everybody's needs.
This is the biggest event that you've ever done, and I think it's going to be even bigger next year. I see that this isn't just. I am actually calling it the wrong thing. I keep calling it an event, and it's not. It's not really an event. It's more of an experience. And
Yeah.
Amanda, thank you for talking with me. I hope that we can share your story and your testimony with hundreds of thousands of people, because people at home that could be watching this right now could be dealing with something so devastating that they think that they could take that it's better if they took their own life. And if someone is at that brink, let's just close with this. If it's someone's at the point to where they're hurting so much that they think the world is better off without them, what if you had 30 seconds to say something to them, what would you say to them right now?
I would give them my experience as the family member, which is your pain, my sister's pain. That pain is going to be distributed to everybody else that you love. So it's just not worth it because the pain don't go away. It may have for that person, but it's just spread rampant across so many other people on top of the pain they're already carrying. And what I do have experience in is healing and hope. And there's so many ways that we can heal. So reach out, because we need to stay. We don't, if we take our lives, I know that if I take my life, I'm going to hurt the people I love and leave them with so many questions. And my sister did. I love her so much, but I have absolutely experienced the anger and all of that. Um, but yeah, just stay and know that the pain does disperse. It doesn't go away.
Yeah. Well, you found a way to take a terrible tragedy that, and every right should have crippled you. You've taken a way to turn that and bring that to hope to so many people. And Amanda, that's exactly why I'm writing to North Carolina. And that's exactly why others are writing in from other states. That's exactly why My Turn Moto is doing what she's doing. That's exactly why you have so many volunteers, because we believe in your vision and we believe in your mission. And I'm just honored that you would let me take such a small part of this and run with it. So, Amanda, thank you for that, and thank you for talking with me.
Thank you, JD. Thank you so much.